Right, what I'm doing, I'm going to make a series of videos about buy to let. I have been a landlord for knocking on for 20 years. I've got 4 properties that I rent, and I hope you find this useful. I might make these videos in 4 parts, and the first part I want to concentrate on buying your buy to let property. Um, Now, the first thing you need is good finances. You need a good credit report, and you need a deposit. Normally, you would need a 25% deposit. So, if you're buying a house for £100,000, you need 25,000, and then we'll have the rest on a mortgage. Do the 75,000 on a mortgage, but you need a £25,000 deposit. As well as that, the mortgage lender will check on how long you've had the deposit for. They will sort of question where it's come from, if you've borrowed it, borrowed it on a loan, or if you've been given it by parents or whatever. So I know it sounds a bit laborious, but the best thing you can do is have your deposit sat in a building society savings account for 6 months before you look to purchase this property. That's what I would recommend. And I'd also recommend, like your credit history, check your credit history, um, and over them 6 months, try and improve your spending and try and make your personal finances look better than they are. Um, a lot of mortgage lenders will want you to be earning £25,000 plus in your job in order for them to lend you the money. There's a few that are not bothered. There's like the Mortgage Works, and they're not bothered what you're earning, as long as the finances stack up on the buy to let. Um, there's like coverage on the rent. So when you're buying your buy to lets, there's a calculation which we'll go through on another video, of how much rent you need to how much they'll loan you. I think them calculations avoid if you take the mortgage on a 5-year fixed. So bearing that in mind. But on this video, I want to concentrate on looking for a property. Now, depending what you're going to do, whether you're going to do an HMO or whether you're going to do a vanilla buy to let, that's just buying a house and letting it to a single person or a family. Personally, I would recommend just doing the vanilla buy to let. Buy a property and let it to a family. The first thing I would say is buy a property near you. You'll get these people and they'll say, "Oh, I'm looking in Liverpool, I'm looking in Manchester," and all this sort of nonsense. Most people, if you live in the north or you live in the Midlands, I would say probably everywhere apart from London, the Greater London area, you should be able to make buy to let work. It wouldn't work in London because the house prices are so expensive, but everywhere else, it should work. Personally, if you've got problems with a property, if you can get there within half an hour, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend buying a property within about a 10-mile radius of where you live, and have a look. Go into the local letting agents, have a talk to them. They're usually quite friendly and quite amicable, and they might say to you, our most popular properties are 3 beds, semi-detached or detached properties that you can put a family in. Think as well is, if you've got a 2-bed property or a 1-bed property, it's more likely to be let to a single person who would stay a shorter time. Whereas if you let a property if you've got a 3-bed property, whether it's detached or semi-detached, you're more likely to let that to a family, which hopefully would stay there longer. Really, what we're after is letting a property to somebody, a family, and then them staying, 3, 4, 5 years. That's what we're after, because tenants moving in, moving out, your property is empty for a period of time, and it costs you money. So I wouldn't recommend that. The only other thing I would say as well is, you don't want a property that's really decorated to the nines. They've spent loads of money on it. It's all done up. The estate agents will say, "Oh, this place looks marvellous." But you've got to remember, when you walk in, all them pictures on the walls and stuff like that, they'll take them off, and then they'll be all marked behind the pictures. So even though you look at a house and you think, "Oh, this is marvellous, I haven't got to do anything to it," by the time they've took all the furniture out, they took all the pictures out, you're going to have to repaint it anyway. So you're better off with a property, maybe an ex-rental, where you walk in, it's magnolia walls, and you think, "Yeah, I can do a bit of repainting, a bit of refurb." Um, and that's a better bet than buying something that's immaculate. The main thing is, with the property, you need to try and get a discount on the property. I always used to say £10,000 off the asking price, but I think the way things are going now, with landlords being desperate to sell, I reckon you could get £15,000 to £20,000 off the asking price. That's what I'd be looking for if I was buying a property. As well as that, don't buy a property that needs loads of work. Buy a property maybe that's had a new bathroom, or it's had a new kitchen, and then you can fit either a new bathroom or a kitchen, but you don't want to be fitting both. I would buy a property that's had the windows done. You don't want to buy a property that you need to replace all the windows and doors. And you want a property, ideally, that's a band C or a band D on the council tax. And for the energy performance certificate, you want a property that is minimum, I would say, of a band D. So a band D or a band C, the government's bringing in, you won't be able to rent a property unless it's a C. But if you've got a D, it's easy to get from a D to a C, right? But that's all I'm doing for now. That's my first video. I will follow on with my next one shortly. Okay, cheers, bye.